spiritual healing through light energy types, and that's great if you like it, but I don't think it belongs here. I think that we really need to keep this focused.
Okay, so can I kind of restate that in kind of a shortened proposal form? Would you say that the proposal would be to use the main Occupy Temecula group for organization, or the main Occupy Temecula group for newsfeed?
It doesn't matter. One organization, one newsfeed.
Go ahead.
What I've noticed so far is there's a lot of people who aren't necessarily local who are joining the Occupy Temecula Facebook group. But what we also have is we have the Occupy Temecula discussion
That's what I was
group.
going to get to.
And they have very little traffic in the discussion group. And I think maybe it would be a better idea just to use that as a forum for now because there's such little traffic with the outside that we'll be able to keep it more closer to the people who are coming down here, people within the community. So we won't have people on the other side of the country bombarding us with, their interests and whatnot.
Okay, so let's propose that we use the Occupy Temecula discussion group for organization, communication, and specific Occupy Temecula business. And the main Occupy Temecula group could be a newsfeed, a general Occupy movement discussion group. And if you are not part of the Occupy Temecula discussion group, send me a message or an email and we'll get you in there.
Actually, you'll need to be on Violence to Friends.
Yeah, but send me a message and we'll do the steps to
or
get
you
there.
can request
Question.
just to
Could
request.
you put a little introduction up at the Facebook page related what the person is going to do?
Absolutely, yes. That's a great idea. All right, so can we have a yes, no, maybe so?
I like that. We like that.
All right. Do we have any other proposals, any other business that anyone would like to raise?
Just briefly, I sent out to everyone's email that I had a copy of the flyer that was made for this event on Saturday event. And if there's suggestions or criticisms, please send them in.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
On the flyer, my proposal is the flyer. I love it, but it was on one sheet of paper, right?
There were several options.
Okay.
One which was cut down with 2 sheets for 1 page.
Yeah, that's what I
And then
would
there was
like.
one in black and one in white, and then one in high resolution and one in low resolution.
I didn't know what all that meant, so I didn't. I only opened one, but I love it. But my suggestion is that we put this on the other side of it, make it on 2, and then will you read this one because I was a very loud voice.
Which one am I reading here? This?
They're all
Oh, I see.
because I'm on the.
Okay, I guess what she's got here is Occupy Temecula stands in solidarity with Occupy Wall Street. We are the 99%. We will no longer accept this injustice of the 1%. Occupy Temecula is dedicated to a peaceful protest. We ask that anyone who joins us remain calm and do not join in any negative banter with our fellow citizens. Be respectful to police. Please refrain from yelling at them, singing, chanting. Be civil to pedestrians and shop owners. Avoid rising tensions. Try to sit when there is a tension rather than confront physically. Be noble and non-violent. Respect the environment. Leave it cleaner than you find it. And never doubt that a small group of committed people. Oh, this is the quote. Okay. Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever was. Quote from Mark Lee. That's what she's got here.
So this is the statement from the nonviolence.
Right.
And is that can I get an approval from everybody, or can I put it on the other side of the flyer?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay with everybody?
Do you have an extra copy for the minutes?
I have one
Yeah,
question
you
now.
can have it.
No singing?
I think it says the text is sing.
That's to the police.
Oh,
Confronted to the police.
So don't be confrontational.
Refrain from yelling at them, singing, chanting.
At the police.
So, are you asking for a little bit of language clarification about
Yeah,
that
I was just,
specific
yeah, I
line?
wasn't very, because she's a good girl. Last week someone said, yeah, you bring your guitar down.
I'll sit right here.
I don't want to be.
She
does a lot of things, doesn't she?
Confronted by the police.
Okay, I got you.
I think that's clear, right?
Yes.
Where's she going?
So we do have a consensus.
And keep in mind, everybody, that anything we do here, in terms of documents, everything is a living document.
Absolutely.
And if people feel like something needs to be reworded, or it's not appropriate, or this is a sentence they don't like, you're welcome to, rewrite it and bring it up to the group and say this is I think this would be better. We can look at that. So nothing's set in stone, especially all documents across the board are all living documents.
Okay. Anything else that anyone would like to raise, propose, or bring up at the GA?
Any suggestions?
Mike?
We had a little group going, and we thought it might be an idea to have a list of phone numbers and have one person that could broadcast, I don't know, emergencies or things like that that were related to Occupy Temecula.
Sure.
And so if anybody wants to do that, I have a notebook right here. If you just add your telephone number to it, and we'll get it so that it might be like if we're having our meeting here, or if there's some reason why we need more support, we'll broadcast a message. It'll go out as a text message.
Sure.
So if anybody wants to do that, just come on over and sign up on this notebook here. Or maybe I'll circulate a piece
You
of
want to
paper.
pass it around?
Okay, let me do that. I'll just pass this around. This is for text messaging.
So also, I had a concern that our numbers are good right now for the GA. We didn't have a huge number of people show up this morning, between 10 and 1 or 10 and 2. And I feel like we're in danger of losing our critical mass. If we got down to 3 people or 5 people on the corner all day, it's getting kind of hairy. So I talked to some people about this already away from the group, and everybody seemed to agree that we can all do some things to try to help increase our numbers during the day. And so I had a couple ideas about how we could do that, but I think what we need to do is we need to take direct action to try to increase our numbers. And that means everybody getting involved in their own way and promoting the group however they can, or however it fits into their life. So maybe we could have a little brainstorm about that. For starters, I'll say Josh and I could, and maybe Chris, can do some promotion with the students and talk directly to some students about, because really this is a young people's movement in a lot of regards, and we need more activity from the younger people. So Josh is a student, Chris is a student, and we'd be happy to try to get some more student involvement by talking directly to students. Another idea I had was that most of the Starbucks in the area have a community bulletin board. The library has a community bulletin board. Somebody could take it upon themselves to post flyers on the community bulletin boards around town.
I can go ahead and create another flyer like the one that I created for March or something similar for the next couple of Saturdays that people can go out and post. And I think what we've talked about, maybe what we're looking for here, is for commitments from individual people to do specific actions during the week that would bring in numbers on the Saturday's demonstrations. So the kinds of things that we're talking about here, like going out and talking to students, going out and posting flyers. So, brainstorm. We want to hear what you guys have to say.
The flyer that this gentleman made is perfect. It has our,
Wonderful.
Every Saturday, the time and everything.
Perfect.
Speaking of the time, anyway, first of all, I'm committed to going to copy this out
Great.
and putting that piece of thing on the back, because I think one thing we will see here is when they hear all the violence. So I want that little thing on the back of the
Great.
flyer. And I will go around to my neighborhood, which is in Minnesota.
Okay.
Put it on cars or
Okay.
whatever. And then we talked about maybe changing the time
To
to noon.
We're not getting a huge. Today there was only about 2 or 3 or 4 people.
He was here first, and I was here second, and there
Yeah.
was 2 of us for about an hour or so.
Yeah, I got here about 11:30. So.
yeah.
I think the part of the problem is not necessarily, maybe it might be the time, but as well, there's a lot of people who have come down here a couple times who, we don't ever see them again, or we haven't since. And it seems to me there's a lot of people who have the mentality that, oh, well, these guys got it going, I can just show up and go home. But really, with a group this small, if we're really passionate about this, we have to get out there and be proactive ourselves. It's a leaderless movement. We are all individual leaders technically, so if we're passionate enough, we have to get out there and go do it ourselves, because nobody's going to do it for us.
I also kind of feel that maybe it would be a good idea. I don't know how time related the March kind of relates to everything, but I think it would be good for people a little bit earlier on to be able to move around and get walking done. I think that relates to a lot of people coming later so that they can come to the General Assembly and then they can come to the March. And I think we're going to have March before the General Assembly.
So, well, what if we, so maybe, I mean, it seems like the General Assembly is really what's bringing people in. That's what you're saying. That's, I think, what we've been seeing. So maybe having the General Assembly earlier in the day or at the beginning of the event.
Say at noon.
At noon. Having the GA at noon and then everything else after might make more sense.
Can we just do a show of hands and see if people are able to be here at noon, or and also see if people are able to show up at 10, or whether we want to start. Well, can we first start out by saying who would like to continue to show up at 10 o'clock in the morning as opposed to noon? Is there anybody that can make it at 10? Should we change the time?
We could if it was.
I told a couple people that we meet regularly at 10 who are planning to come next week at 10 because I told.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll commit to 10 next week.
Here's a suggestion. We can say that we, are going all day, but maybe schedule things periodically through the day to increase the flow of people, like saying, oh, maybe a group at noon wants to march over in front of the banks for a little while or something. Something small like that, just to encourage people to come.
Yeah.
At least it's up there. It's content that people are showing up for.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. Have more than, because the GA is the one scheduled thing.
Right.
The event, everyone's okay, I got to be there because you can go protest anytime. But to actually have a series of those kind of things, like don't do the march and the GA back to back, separate them out a little bit. One.
Oh, I just wanted to say noon for the GA, that's lunch.
Yeah.
That might make it hard. I mean, I know, like, I gotta feed kids, it's lunch. If we did one, it's right after lunch.
Let me riff on that for a second. Why don't we schedule another event, say a potluck lunch at noon? And bring food. And that really, it's a good way. It increases the feeling of community among us, and we all sit down and eat together.
Fantastic.
You could have a lunch, and then you could say an optional march to the banks after or something.
Or
It could
around
be a
the
number of
neighborhood.
things.
It can change. We can mix it up.
I think going to the banks is really effective and be effective, like we did last time.
We have lots of people taking pictures of us.
They were nervous.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
I mean, that got attention. I think that's a really good thing to do.
I think like once an hour we can just just get in a line and just do the whole intersection, just do a loop, a lap, kind of walk it off a little bit.